Very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our second session of today. And and for this particular second session, we are going to look at use data and insights to help grow your business. So, my name is Evans Rabare, a senior trainer with Africa 108 on Google Jesus Scales for Africa program. And with me on the chat box is now Ledesa. And so as we wait for more people to join, just kindly introduce yourself and let us know where you are tuning in from. Are you tuning in from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, or are you tuning in from outside Ethiopia? We'd love to know those who are joining with us so that we can tailor the training to fit everybody. All right, so as you get to familiarize yourself with the chat box, let us look at the three broad agendas that we have. Let us look at the three broad agendas that we have, and we have. So basically, we will be able to identify and understand the right questions to ask. Understanding the right questions to ask. At the end of this session, we should be in a position to also be able to identify the best tools to use to gain analytics insights. Also, at the end of this session, you should be equipped and ready to understand, analyze your data sets. So we have three broad agendas that we're going to look at, and it is my hope that after this training now, we should not be having issues with where do I get my data from, and where should I get the data of my clients from, and what are some of the questions that I should be asking my customers or clients. All right. So, and this brings me to my first question, which is, how do I identify and understand the right questions to ask? So now, what words would you use to describe your customers? What words would you use to describe your customers? Right. So what are some of the words that you'd use to describe your customers? So kindly provide your answers on the chat box, and I should be able to discuss all of them. So what are some of the words that you use to describe your customers? So are they customers who usually engage you on your social media pages? So are they nagging customers? Are they loyal customers, ones who will keep buying from you? Year in, year out. Are they women majorly? What is the age bracket? So what words would you describe your customers? So to help you describe your customers, you can use the gender to describe them. You can use the behaviors to describe them. You can use also, their geographical location, and also you can use a number of, parameters to describe who are your customers. So what words would you use to describe your customers? So as you think about how you describe your customers, let us look at how to identify and understanding the right questions to ask. So now, what questions do you want to ask your customers? Or what questions do you want to ask your customers? So remember, for you to know the questions to ask your customers, your objective should be guiding you to know how or what are the questions that I need to ask my customers. So for instance, if your objective is to sell more products, or double your sales, so your objective could be, or the questions that you could be asking your customer, are you getting the best service, or are you getting the right products that you're looking for? What is the quality? Are you getting it at the right time? Is the service top notch? So these are some of the questions that you can ask your customers. But don't worry, we are going to see, we're going to look at the process of analytics. And in this process, you're going to look at your objective. So your objective is the one that is going to enable you know the questions to ask. And then now, once you've gotten that questions, what do you do with those questions? So sit tight. So now, let us look at the recommended process of analytics. So analytics is merely breaking down a complex, a complex idea or a complex, stuff into parts so that you'll be able to understand it. So that is why we are breaking down the analytics into four broad parts. So we have objective. What is my objective as a service provider or as a business owner? What is my objective? The second process of analytics is, what questions do I need to address? What questions do I need to address? Then so we are saying the third process of analytics is, where do I get that information from? So, and finally, the last process is, what do I do with those information? So remember, in this process, we have some words that have been that are in bold. So in the first process, we have objective in bold. Second one, we have question in bold. Third, we have get in bold and do in bold. So these words in bold, they mean something. For instance, when I'm talking about where do I get, so to get to means what are the platforms, and then what do I do? Do to means what are the actions that I need to do. So now let us look at the first process, which is, what is my objective? So I will run you through some of the objectives that as a business owner you could have. So we have a few. You can also as well think of some more that has not been listed here. So here are some examples of objectives that we can use. Tell more people about my business. So creating brand awareness, telling more people know about my business, which is basically brand awareness. Sell more of my products or services, increasing sales. And you know that the backbone for generating revenue in any business is, you need to increase your sales. You need to keep on generating revenue. Also, you need to identify my most valuable customers. Your most valuable customers could be women, they could be men, or they could be youth, and they could be within particular bracket. So you need to identify them. Once you've identified your most valuable customers, you should be able to know how do you meet their needs. And finally, so last but not least, you need to find new ways to engage with previous customers. How do you engage with previous customers? How do you keep them busy so that they don't feel forgotten? How do you engage with the previous customers? So in most cases nowadays, we have businesses having their own WhatsApp pages, having their own Telegram pages, having Facebook pages. So these are just platforms where they'll be able to interact with previous customers, letting them know about additional services that have been added, additional products that have been added, or just letting the customers know how the business is doing, something of that sort. To the second process of analytics, which is what question do I need to address? What question do I need to address? And to help us understand what question to address, we have a structure here called the RIN concept. So I'll run you through the RIN concept, and we can use RIN concept to structure the type of questions you will need to ask about your business. For instance, R in the RIN stand for reach. So reach, we're talking about who is my target audience and how do I reach them online. When you're talking about engage, is are they finding what they need? Are they finding what they need in your business? So for instance, if you're in the IT business, are you providing the product that meets the needs? So is it an app, or is it a system, or is it a multi-vendor e-commerce website? So are you providing what is really meeting their needs? Activate is that, are they really converting? Are they booking? Are they subscribing to newsletters? Also nurture. So remember, nurturing talent basically means you work with them, you guide them, and basically that is the same thing that we should be doing with businesses. You need to nurture them so that they come back. So are they coming back? And for them to come back, you need to nurture them. You need to keep in touch with them. You need to be engaging them, and that is how you get them nurtured. So to the third process of analytics, which is where do I get that information from? So what tools can I use to get analytics data and insights? Where does it come from? All right. So for us to gain the right information, I will introduce you to some tools that we can use. So when you're talking about social channel, so with social channels, you can see which content users engage with. So when you're talking about measure views, when you're talking about likes, follows, and shares, etc. But when you're coming to Facebook, Twitter, so Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they have a strong reporting features. Organic search. So organic search, you identify what customers are looking for and align your business with their searches. So you identify what somebody is looking for, what somebody is searching for, and then what you need to do is you align your business with the searches, or you make sure that the keywords that somebody is likely to use, you have them on your website or on your Google My Business or on your blog or on your ad, so that you will pop out when somebody is searching for a particular product like that. Your website. So on your website, you need to identify which pages have the most views and which cause users to disengage or bounce off. So in your website, you can have Google My Business. So you can link it with Google My Business first, but also you can link it with Google Analytics. So what Google Analytics helps you with, it helps you to track the activities, activities within your website, such as session duration, people bouncing off, how it's like pages duration. So if you have a website and you have Google Analytics linked to it, you'll be able to know how your pages are doing, how long are people taking on your pages. And if people are not taking time on your pages, it means the bounce rate is very high. And therefore, there must be something wrong with those pages, or the content that is in those pages is not what they were looking for. When you talk about paid search, so basically you're talking about How can you market your product to customers using paid channels? And what are they looking for? What type of audiences do you want to attract? Right? So let us look at the final process of analytics. So remember, we broke the process of analytics was broken down into 4 broad processes, and we are at the final one, which is what do I do with that information? So now that I have the insights and data analytics, what do I use it for? What can I do with it, and how does it affect my business? So now, for you to gain deeper insights, and after gaining the deeper insights, how do you use those insights? So now we are at using your insights, right? So some of the ways we can use insights are market trends. So market trends, we identify the latest market trends and insights. So now as we speak in Ethiopia right now, what is trending right now is the upcoming elections. What is trending right now is the holiday that we just had, the Muslim fasting holiday. So those are some of the hot topics that are trending. So with with market trends, you're able to identify the latest market trends and the insights. And as a business owner, how do you use these market trends so that when somebody is typing fasting or something on holiday, you also pop out and somebody get curious and look at your website and the products that you are offering. So user experience, understand your customer's path to purchase and make changes accordingly. So normally the customer path to purchase starts with uh, I want to know moment. So I want to know moment is the initiative that wants make to go to search engine to type to search for a particular product. So for instance, if I want to buy a car, for instance, I will go and look for affordable cars manufactured within this duration, or affordable Toyota cars, or affordable Hyundai cars. So I will do a little research about the cars, and that is I want to know moment. So we have I want to know moment all to I want to buy. So that is where now you go to the actual e-commerce website and then you choose your product and you buy. So you need to ascertain your user experience to better understand their path to purchase. Also, how to use your insights. Some of the ways you can use insight is through content marketing. Identify which type of content identify which type of content people engage with most. So identify what content users like to influence your content marketing plan. So content marketing is all about coming up with content, videos, text, images, and all this with an aim of passing some information to the public. And it's becoming an effective way of doing marketing. Also, adapt your strategy. So use these insights to adapt your overall marketing strategy. So these insights will help you know what is happening in the world of digital marketing, or what is happening in the world of marketing, so that you can have ads such as motivational Monday. You can have because these are some of the quotes or some of the themes that people marketers usually use. So for instance, you'll find corporates coming up with an ad, and below it's the writing motivational Monday. Uh, you know uh, Terrific Tuesday, for instance. So they just say something like Terrific Tuesday, but or in the ad, it's the name of the company, the logo, and something about them. So these are ways of engaging public, even though they're not selling a product directly, but they're just creating brand awareness. Just saying, okay, spend your time well. Right now, most companies are using Corona to create an awareness. So as a company or as a business, you can also come up with a strategy of just saying something about Corona, but in the slide you also have your logo of the company, and you're also sensitizing people about Corona. So that's a way of throwing yourself out there that you're doing business and you're active in that field. So let me pause and see if we have questions. Let me pause and see if we have questions. So as you wait for as I wait for your questions, just feel free to just ask questions. I will spare a few minutes to answer and address those questions that you might be having. So now let us look at the second agenda, which is how to identify the best tools to use. So identifying the best tools to use. Identifying the best tools to use. So in this case, we talk about what are some of the analytic tools that you can use to measure how, for instance, your website is doing, how your Google Ads is doing, how your Facebook is doing. So now let me ask you, which analytic tools do you currently use? Which analytics tools do you currently use? Let me know some of the analytics tools that you currently use. Are you using Google Search Console? Are you using Facebook Page Insights? Are you using Google Ads? Or are you using Google My Business? So which analytic tools do you currently use? So just feel free to write on the chat box some of the analytics tools that you currently use. Which analytics tools do you currently use? All right, so let me introduce you to some of the tools that we can use. So when you talk about social or social media, we can use Facebook Page Insight as a tool. We also have Twitter Insight tool and Hotsuite also. So online platforms offer great features to get information about your customers. Social media, so we have talked about Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Organic search, the free search. Under free search, we have an effective tool such as Google Search Console and also Google My Business as tools that you can use to get insights or to get to know your customers or people who are visiting your website. So you can use Google Analytics for your website. So it doesn't matter whether your website is on Camellio or WordPress or somewhere. So if your website is on WordPress, we have a plugin called Monsterlight, which you can use to integrate with Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is free and paid. So it is both free and paid. So if you want the basic insights, so of course it's free. But if you want the premium insights, you have to pay for the premium services. All right. So now let us look at the Facebook page insights. So with Facebook page insight, you can find out what people are engaging with on your Facebook page and how they are finding you. You can easily find that. So if you look at the graphic that you have here, we have we have so with the Facebook page insights, you can see that you're able to find you so you're able to see followers, the likes, reach, page views, action on the page, posts, event, videos, people, and you're also able to see the action on the page, also the reach, post engagement, what actions were taken on the videos, and even the page follows. So that is how it what it does. It breaks down all this into into simpler and easy way for you to understand. So if you want to look for post engagement, it will actually give you how many times were people able to engage with your page, right? How many people actually liked your page. So when somebody like your page, it means they either like the graphic or the information, or something that you're trying to do. So now let us look at a Google Search Console. And Google Search Console, it helps you to measure your site search traffic and performance. It fixes issues and make your site perform well on Google Analytics. So what is amazing about Google Analytics is the fact that it will be able to email you if there is an issue with the website. And so it will be able to identify an issue, email it to you, and then from there now you take the step of fixing that issue. So you can find out the invaluable information about website and its visitors. So you're able to learn more about your visitors through the Google Search Console. So you can see which queries brings users to your site, analyze your site's impression, clicks, and position on Google search. Also, you can submit sitemaps and individual URL for crawling. So when you talk about Crawler is just a program that Google use to search for pages. So what it does, it crawls the pages. In crawling the pages, it's finding information. So for Crawler to work effectively, you need to label your photos with. You don't just label them 1, 2, 3, or 4. Make sure that you label your photo with the name, and also you make sure that all the photos are labeled well, the headers are labeled well, so that the crawler is able to identify those pages. So you need to review index coverage to make sure that Google has the freshest view of the site. Also, as I mentioned, you receive email alerts when Google identify issues on your site. See which URLs are affected by these issues and tell Google when they have fixed them. All right. So on the Google Search Console, you can see clearly that we have total clicks, we have total impressions, and all that. So you're able to see all that on Google Search Console. So let's see how you can use Google My Business as a search as a search as a search console. So now let's look at how you can. So remember we said under organic search we had Google Search Console and Google My Business. So now let us look at uh, uh, Google My Business. So when you talk about Google My Business, we're talking about a free and absolutely free tool that you can use to manage your online presence across Google Search and even Google Maps. And apart from this, also you can use Google My Business to do your marketing. So you can do posts. Your post will be visible on Google, on Google, and also you can also have your phone number there. People can reach you directly, and you can also just. So it is a very, very effective tool if you know how to use it, and if you know how you can use the insight you'll be getting, because from the insight you'll be able to know how many people requested for directions, how many people made calls, and all that. So you can use Google My Business as a tool to manage your online presence across Google Sites and Maps. So you can create a listing which, so for instance, oh yeah, so now I might be talking about Google My Business and you guys don't really know what Google My Business is. So let me give an example of what Google My Business is. So when you're talking about Google My Business, let me share my screen and so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about. So now I want to use TaskMobile for instance. TaskMobile. So TaskMobile. So when you talk about Google My Business, this is all. When you type TaskMobile and you see an interface like this is Google My Business, and especially this interface that is appearing on the left hand side, this one, the one that has it has some map, it has the website direction and so forth. So that is Google My Business. So from here you're able to see the website of TaskMobile. If you click on the website, it will direct you to TaskMobile. And also I can request direction from here, just to know that if I click onto direction, it will be taking me to the map and showing me that TaskMobile is actually between Arat Kilo and the British Embassy. And again, if I go back also from Google My Business, if I click onto the website, it should be able to take me to the TaskMobile website. So here we have TaskMobile website, and it's still, so I'm able to read more about TaskMobile. So it is a digital platform connecting users with much needed home service providers. So this is just like a ride, but it connects people with. So if you want plumbers, if you want electricians, you can get them. Also, I can make a call. So and remember, Google My Business has an app. So if I were to, if I had an app, and I would call directly, and guys from TaskMobile will be picking, and I will be able to inquire about anything that I want. So apart from that, now we have reviews. So these are reviews. So you can see what people are talking about. So I can see Lorna saying something about, about Lorna Lungu saying professional service and the plumber we received fulfilled all the expectations, competent, trustworthy, good communication in English. We were fully satisfied. So that's alone. It's a positive review for TaskMobile, and it gives it gives some level of trust to whoever was looking for a plumber, or some confidence in making a step further to just engage TaskMobile. So apart from that, you see this phone number. So if you click on a call, somebody who owns this phone number will be able to receive your call. And also you can request a quote from here. So for instance, if you wanted a disinfection service, somebody can request a quote from here, and it will be emailed directly to your, into your pages. And of course, if you look at the images, so these are some of the images. So if you look at this one, so it's basically showing you that TaskMobile are using this platform very well to even market. So we have a reliable electrician, and that is the service. We have painting services. So that basically tells you Trustmobile are actually listed on Google My Business there, and they're using the page perfectly well. So that is what I meant by being listed on Google My Business. And of course, uh, inside Google My Business, we have statistics which I will not be able to get into right now because I'm not the one managing this. So going back to our slide, hopefully we don't have any question. We don't have any question on Google My Business. So going back to my slide, so I was talking about Google My Business, and I've explained almost everything about it. So you can create a listing which customers can use to engage with your business. You can market to customers and increase your visibility. You can also leverage on insights to find out how many views your listing had, or how and where customers find your listings, the actions customers took on your listings, and other interactions customers have with your Google My Business listing. So now let us look at Google Trends. So with Google Trends, you can identify the popularity of search terms in Google and identify whether a trend is on the rise or decline. So you can also find demographic insights, related topics, and related queries to help you better understand the Google Trends. So Google Trends provides access to a largely unfiltered samples of actual samples requests made by Google. So it allows us to display interest in a particular topic from around the globe or down to city level geography. So Google Trends data reflects searches people make on every day, but it can also reflect irregular search activity, such as automated searches or queries that may be associated with an attempt to spam our search results. So basically what Google My Business does is it's able to tell you which trends are on the rise and the ones are declining. And as a business person, you need to use the trends or the terms that are on the rise. So how do you use Google Trends to rise above competition? We can use Google Trends to find relevant topics. Also, we can use Google Trends. So by finding relevant topics, it will help you see clearly whether the search volume is increasing or declining. This also allows you to see personal trends in one clear cut shot. We can also use Google Trends to monitor competitors. You eavesdrop, so it's called eavesdropping. So you sneak onto them, you eavesdrop on what they're doing. Also, you can identify steady keywords for SEO. You can identify steady keywords for SEO. Also, you can find topics by region, target customers at a local, regional, or even on a global scale. Right? So let's look at Google Analytics. So Google Analytics helps understand your site and app users to better check the performance of your marketing content, products, and even more. So you can get insights that only Google can give you. So access Google unique insights and machine learning capabilities to make the most of your data. Also, you can connect your insights to results. So the beauty about it is from Google Analytics, you'll also be able to know some of the statistics from other social media pages. So Analytics works with Google advertising and publishers product. So you can use your insights to deliver business results. So let me pause for questions if we have. Do we have questions? I'd love to pause for questions and see if we have questions. So all right, so I've talked enough. Let me pause a bit and say hi to Helena, who is from Addis. Also, I'm seeing Naoli is also engaging with our audience, and I can also see Kalkidan saying hi. Buze has also joined the call. Thank you so much. And Pius has also used GMB. Pius, thank you so much for joining. How is the experience with GMB? I'd really love to know. How is the experience with Google My Business? All right. Also, feel free to ask questions around, the tools that we have looked at, both social, the organic one, and even, the ones that you can use on your website. So, let us look at our last agenda, which is understanding and analyzing your data. Understanding and analyzing your data. And to help us do that, we're going to delve deep into the analytics dashboard, and I'm going to run you through what it has. So in the analytics dashboard, we have geographic location, popularity over time, we have active users, visits, and how you acquired those users. So now, how do you set up Google Analytics account? So you have to go to google.com/analytics. You have to name your account if it is one. If you have multiple, you have to also state. Choose industry category to help you when you benchmark against others who have tagged the same industry. So once you've done that now, there is a tracking code that you're supposed to add. And where do we find this tracking code? So to track your site performance, you'll need to add correct tracking code to its pages. And of course, so in Google Analytics, we have a page called property. Under property, that is where now you will find a tracking code. So when using a website builder or a blog, there may be a simple field where you can add the tracking code for your website. So what the code does, it basically tracks how these pages are performing. So now, to help us understand, so we have four main areas. We have four main areas of reporting on analytics. So all of Google Analytics reports are four main groups, areas to help us answer the questions that we have mentioned before. So when you talk about audience, at the audience, who are they? At the acquisition, how did they find you? How did they find the page? Behavior, what are they doing? Conversions, what are they worth to me? So if you look at those four reporting areas, they're helping us in understanding our visitors better. For instance, from the behavior, we'll be able to know what are they doing. Conversions, are they worth my time? Are they completing any of your conversion goals? Booking, subscribing, leaving the contact form, and much more. So for conversion to work, goals have to be set up to track specific conversions. Once you have mastered the basic, this is really worth doing. All right, so now let us look deeper into Google Analytics. So you know that Google Analytics will reveal valuable data. So under the Google data, we have dimension and metrics. So when we talk about dimension, we're talking about what? So here we're talking about organic search, referral, users, page search, social, affiliates. And when we talk about metrics, which is numbers, we're talking about new users, recurring sessions, etc. So dimensions is basically channels. It could be social, it could be paid, it could be, when we talk about metrics are actually numbers. How long did somebody stay onto your page? Uh, do we have how many people keep on recurring? So recurrent users. So you remember when we were beginning, we talked about the ring concept. So now let me run you through again some more, through the ring concept just to help us to understand now the right questions to ask. So we talked about reach. So how are they finding you online? So identify which terms are driving the organic traffic on your website. Look to improve links from your social media platform. You need to develop relationship with several websites to drive more traffic to your website. Engage, which is what are they engaging with when they find you online. So we need to learn which pages are getting any views, discover what is really engaging to your visitors. For example, you could discover that you lose a lot of people at the payment page. So this might be simplified by reducing the fields to the fill. So if you have so many fields that somebody gets tired, even finish filling the form, filling the fields, you can reduce them so that you can just remain with the necessary ones. Activate what channels is driving most booking. So identify which referring site drive conversions. For referring sites, bringing good quality traffic can help you develop a partnership with them. So look out for underperforming referring sites and consider reviewing the partnership, right? So nurture. Are your customers happy to leave a review? So get genuine feedback from people we know have bought our products. Respond to all reviews, be it good or bad. Also try different ways to engage purchasers to leave a review. So now let's look at Google Trends in detail. So let's explore what the world is searching by entering a keyword or a topic. So from Google Trends, we are able to see daily search trends and we're able to see yearly search data. So when you're talking about daily search trends, so daily search trends highlight searches that jumped significantly in traffic among all searches over the past 24 hours and updates hourly. So you can use daily search trends to see what people are most interested in at any given time and how the searches rank compared to another. So real-time search trends highlight searches that jumped significantly in the traffic among all recent searches. So the algorithm for real-time search trends groups together that are trending all the same time on Google News and search and rank stories based on relative spike in volume and absolute volume on searches. So now, how do you promote your business around seasonal trends? So seasonal trends allow your business to stay relevant and competitive. Throughout the year, your business will experience peaks and dips that will impact your revenue. Use trends to identify seasonal products demand. Adjust your offering according to supply and demand. Create content about relevant trends. So for instance, if you're talking about weather seasons, if for instance you're going on a winter season where people will be requiring a heavy jacket or something, you can have those products so that people could buy them in preparation for the winter. But once the winter is over, people will revert back to light cloth or something. You should have that one too. So for Muslims also, when they're fasting, it means they're not heavy. They will not be eating a lot. So you need to know what are some of the products that they will be buying, what some of the foods that they will be consuming during that time. And once the fasting period is over, definitely they will get back to eating the normal food. So use Google Trends for keyword research. So Google Trends shows what searches and keywords are trending. Use the related query sections to identify other potential keywords. Name your product categories according to popular keywords. Optimize your post according to trending words. So, for instance, if I were to search for leather coat, I will find another related key term such as it could be like a cotton coat or a silk coat. So normally, when you're searching for something, when you're using a keyword, another keyword that is related to what you're looking for pops up. So that is how Google Trends can help you in doing your keyword research. All right. So let me pause for questions and see if we have any question as we wind up. All right. So I can see that we have. Remember, it has been 50 minutes or so that we've been talking about, how to use data and insights to help grow your business. And what would be helpful if we can just join our social media pages, talk about some of the topics that we've learned. Use the hashtags just to say you learned this and that during the session, and it's been really helpful. So, what is your next steps after being part of this session? What is your next step? I'd love to know what is your next step after taking these short courses. Are you going to sign up to the Grow with Google page, g/CEO digitalskills.com to learn even more and become an expert in it? Let me know what would be your next step. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media pages at Facebook, on Twitter, on Telegram, and I'm sure now we'll be posting the links to you. You can sign up and become part of it. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the Africa 108 YouTube channel, which is the Google partner, or which is delivering this training. So just subscribe so that you get to learn more from our upcoming webinars. And at this point, I want to say thank you so much for being part of this training. And we were looking at how to use data and insights to help grow your business. And I was your trainer, Evans Rabare, joined by moderator Naul Edessa, and the participants whom we were having. We had Pius joining. Elena was also part of the training. Kalkidan was also part of the training, and other guys who had not written the name. So thank you so much, and see you in our next session, which will be on Monday. Thank you so much.